Greetings, fellow Southern Cameroonians across the globe and all well watchers and those who watch this channel. Welcome to the People's Platform. I am Capo Daniel, the chairman of PRAP. So, finally, the verdict for the Constitutional Court, the bench for the Supreme Court of Cameroon, they don't give their verdict. They don't reject Maurice Kamto a candidature, destroying the hope of millions of Cameroonians who had hope in him that through him they will be able to mobilize themselves and vote Paul Biya out of power. We knew that this day will come. We have predicted that both Maurice Kamto and Mr. Yebga, their candidature will be rejected based on the information that we were monitoring in the Cameroon Constitutional Council, which is a bench of the Supreme Court of Cameroon. So all of you are welcome. Today we want to give our reaction and give our analysis for our people to have perspective of what is going on. Yeah, we had predicted this type of issue. Maurice Kamto have now returned to Douala, to his residence, without any demonstration at all. Any demonstration at all. This is lack of leadership. Whether you like it or not, this is lack of leadership. The millions of Cameroonians who have put their hope in Maurice Kamto, they deserve Maurice Kamto to be able to champion their right. This is their constitutional right. This is their natural right. According to Article 2 of Cameroon Constitution, it reaffirms the Human Rights Declaration and the African People's Right, in the African People's Charter right, which guarantee them the rights to elect their own leader of their choice and the rights for them to express and politically participate. So the population of Cameroon are guaranteed their right under their constitution for popular demonstration. They must demonstrate their backing to Maurice Kamto. There is no way you can prove that Maurice Kamto have the popular support or the backing of the Cameroonian people if the people do not demonstrate. He has to take that risk to make that call for the public demonstration, which he has failed so far to do. But this is not unexpected because based on Maurice Kamto's character and speeches and his behavior, you cannot be a gentleman and fight this fight with a king like Paul Biya. You can't. It can't just work. You can't carry yourself like a gentleman and do all those things. Of course, we expect that gentlemanism, but it also should show that you are a fighter for the people. The people of Cameroon have been let down by the leadership of Maurice Kamto. Whether you like it or not, he has made a lot of mistakes, but we cannot blame Maurice Kamto, but we can only analyze and show our people our thesis on which the principles and the position of PRAP is based on. We had said that there is no way any Cameroonian can do anything. Number one thing, I'll play some audio that I want to play for the reaction of the Francophones. Number one thing we have to know is that the case itself was flawed because Maurice Kamto gave his head to Paul Biya when he boycotted election without any plan. If your plan was to win through the ballot box, you should have never boycotted the election in the first place. Number two, his legal case was not strong. It was based on emotional appeal. They failed to make the case that Cameroonians have the rights to have Maurice Kamto to vote according to the constitution. That particular part I was watching, I didn't see that case. That case was not made. In particularly the fact that the Minister of Territorial Administration was already engaging with Mr. Enakema, or how they call him, the chairman of the political party that Maurice Kamto represents. They were acting with him, dealing with him as the president of this political party. That case was made, but the Constitutional Court did not accept it to override the need for him to receive an official letter to recognize him as a chairman. So this is an injustice, a blatant violation of Cameroon law that we have seen, that we witnessed. But we should know that even if the perfect case was made by Maurice Kamto, even if he did everything right, will he still succeed? The answer is no. Because of what? We remember the case of John Fundi. He did everything. Lawyer Sama and all the best lawyers that we have presented a wonderful case in the Supreme Court that proved that elections were fraud in favor of Paul Biya and that John Fundi was a real winner. And what did the Supreme Court decided in that instance? They said that their hands were tied. Their hands were tied. So go up, come down, Maurice Kamto was set for failure because, like Kawala had said, which is something we have agreed, that you cannot take down the regime of Paul Biya through presidential election, because Paul Biya did not come to power through presidential election. Paul Biya was handpicked by Amadou Ahidjo, and we expect that that is the same thing that is going to happen. Paul Biya is going to secure his mandate through these elections and handpick his successor to be Frank Biya. That is what we expect. The only thing Cameroonians can do is hope and pray that somebody like Ferdinand Gongo should be able to betray Paul Biya, and Atangan Jipo should be able to betray Paul Biya. That is their only hope. And the way we can advise Francophone is, don't make the same mistake like we did in Southern Cameroon. We antagonize Atangan Jipo to an extent where he feels that he doesn't have a home. He cannot go back to his village. And now he's Sagat. He's there to destroy everything. Atangan Jipo is a madman ready to destroy the whole of Cameroon. And I'm afraid Francophones are going to transform Ferdinand Gongo and Ayolo Vundo, or all those people that they call. They are going to transform them the way we transform Atangan Jipo, people that don't have any home. And their only hope is going to be on Paul Biya. Paul Biya is looking for those people. When we put them in that category, he uses them now to shield himself. They will do everything for him. We should be able to be wise the way we deal with these characters. And we can only advise and hope that people understand that. It's time for us to be conscious of what is going on, the challenges that Cameroonians face, both Francophones and Anglophones, and to look for pragmatic way to give our people the maximum rights they can enjoy, the maximum economic empowerment they can have to pursue their happiness and live their God-given life with more freedom. It is a very sad situation to watch Maurice Kamto's experience and the Francophones, but day to day are now experiencing what we Anglophones have been experiencing. If for the past 80 years they thought that only Anglophones were second-class citizens, now they themselves are coming to the same positions that we have been in for the past 8 years. I'm going to play a reaction of a journalist which I listen to a lot. He's a Francophone journalist. Their program is just like the Cameroon calling we used to have with Bo Herbert in those good old days in the CRTV. So let me play it for you to hear.
Sévère pour une audience qui, selon la loi régissant l'organisation et le fonctionnement du Conseil constitutionnel, devait être publique, ouverte à tous. Nous avons pu accéder au palais des congrès et obtenir une place dans la salle d'audience pour être témoin de l'histoire.
So these are the Equinox journalists, their reaction. I want to play it to our people to understand the reactions of Francophones in our own perspective. Let's listen.
Globalement, ce qu'on peut vous dire, c'est que les choses que nous avons vues et entendues là-bas ont failli nous donner la nausée.
So he's saying that what they have seen and heard in the Supreme Court in Cameroon, the Constitutional Council, has made them to lose their mind, to be crazy. So listen.
Nous avons confirmé qu'effectivement, le Cameroun n'est pas encore une république. Et s'il l'était,
so they are saying that they have now recognized that Cameroon is not a republic. Listen.
Même, il serait une république bananière, une république des comédiens.
Now the journalists and this they talk for Equinox. So they don't realize that Cameroon na a banana republic, a comedy republic, comedy show. Listen.
Une république des autorités qui ne transpire que de la méchanceté et du déshonneur.
A regime of dishonor and méchanceté. Méchanceté. On a here.
Pour la première fois dans notre vie, nous avons eu honte d'être Camerounais. Nous n'avons même pas hésité à demander à Dieu pourquoi il nous a fait naître au Cameroun.
So he said for the first time, they have been ashamed of being Cameroonians. For the first time, they are asking themselves, why did God make them Cameroonians? These are the same questions that we, the Anglophones, have asked before we get into this Ambazonian issue. So let's listen.
Voici quelques vues et entendus qui nous ont dégoûtés hier au Conseil constitutionnel. Premier fait, la forte militarisation du palais des congrès où la sécurité armée jusqu'au temps ne laissait entrer que des gens qui avaient un lien direct avec l'audience, pourtant une audience publique. Et c'était aux entrées d'en bas du palais, donc très loin de la salle d'audience. Deuxième fait, le public bloqué, qui a même accepté de rester dans ces périmètres, a été fortement réprimé. Et les forces de l'ordre ont violenté les sympathisants de Kamto comme des bêtes de somme. Certains ont été embarqués vers des destinations inconnues.
So even Maurice Kamto supporters who came to participate in this hearing, some of them were rounded up by the Cameroon military and taken away to a unknown destination, given a lot of fear to the way they were treated, the way they were already demoralized before they get into that Supreme Court. So listen.
Le régime a fait ce qu'il sait faire, terroriser la population, la vraie terreur digne des régimes ultra-dictatoriaux. Troisième fait, la terrorisation de la presse, la terrorisation des hommes des médias. Certains ont été embarqués de force par les forces de maintien de l'ordre parce qu'ils faisaient juste des retransmissions en direct. Si les restrictions...
So even journalists who were doing live broadcasts, sending live information, were being terrorized. Some of them were being arrested in a hearing that is supposed to be public, open for the public. So these are the Francophones, their reactions that I want to show our people. But most importantly, I want to present to you our official reaction as PRAP, because it's very important for the Cameroon and the world to know what we have to say. You know, there have been a huge issue of leadership gap. We see a big leadership gap that has presented by Maurice Kamto. He has failed to take the leadership to lead the population that supports him. The vast majority of Cameroonians support him. He needs to lead them to demonstrate their support for him and their oppositions to Paul Biya. Failure to do so is not acceptable. Despite the mounting frustration that we have seen on social media and everywhere against Paul Biya's regime, and the repeated call, even by diasporans who support Maurice Kamto, activists, I've watched some of their activists, they have called for a 1,000,000-man march in Yaoundé and Douala for the population to demonstrate their support for Professor Maurice Kamto. Maurice Kamto and his party has failed to take advantage and call upon those 1,000,000-man march in Douala and Yaoundé. He needs to step forward to take that lead. He has failed to step forward to take that lead. In a time when decisive leadership is needed by most Cameroonians, Cameroonians are being denied that opportunity to demonstrate their support for change. There is a lot of energy in Cameroon for support for change. This regime cannot contain if Francophones, they stand up and demand their rights in their own country. The Cameroon military cannot suppress them. They don't have enough manpower. They cannot handle a 1,000,000-man march if Maurice Kamto called for that 1,000,000-man march in Douala and Yaoundé. The right to peaceful protest is both international and natural and also constitutional in Cameroon. Even when some Cameroon government officials, they issued bans, those bans against those rallies are unlawful, unconstitutional. Those actions do not override the fundamental right for the Cameroon population to peacefully demonstrate to show their support for Maurice Kamto. Silence and hesitation in the face of repression and injustice like we have seen only emboldens the Paul Biya's regime, Ferdinand Gongo and the rest who are in power to continue to usher in an era that is going to see a worse dictatorship in Cameroon that we have witnessed today. True leadership must be bold, must be willing to take risk necessary to mobilize the people and to amplify their voice for change in Cameroon. Leadership is not only to run for office, to fight to become the president. Leadership also involves standing up with the people, standing for the people, speaking for the people, expressing the anger and frustration of the people and channeling it to the international community and to the system to put that pressure so that the people can have their right to have their own leadership in that country. Cameroon does not need legal argument. Cameroon can never succeed through legal argument as we see. What Cameroon needs now is the mobilization of its people that wants change. It needs courage, and it also needs those who claim to be opposed to the Paul Biya's regime to catalyze this energy that we see in the country into actions. We don't need commentaries. We don't need intellectual debates. What we need is demonstration of the demand for change by the Cameroonian people, something that we have not seen and something that we know we will not see. So I want to play a very important video from a chief that I love so much, who is a Bamileke chief, who spoke very wisely, and it's something that I believe if it is implemented, will see change in Cameroon.
Si j'ai à vous donner le conseil que vous tous qui êtes ici dans Massa, qui essaient d'être venus ici, je pense que vous êtes tous mes messagers. Voilà, des messagers pour communiquer cette information à tous les autres. Que moi, le chef Soukoutou, je demande à tous les Camerounais, donc vous êtes les messagers, les porte-paroles, je demande à tous les Camerounais de s'entendre en un seul homme. Voilà, en un seul homme, de s'entendre pour ne plus vendre le Cameroun comme en 92. Si oui, je vous appellerai cette fois-ci les Fingons tels que nous avions appelés. Voilà. Entendez-vous pour faire partir Mbia et remettre de l'ordre au Cameroun. C'est simple. C'est vous qui allez rendre ça difficile. Il suffit que vous vous entendez et mettre une seule personne devant Mbia. Lui-même, il va aller se reposer sans qu'on le dise. Voilà.
So, as Sunadan here, this honorable chief, which I believe deserves the title of Chief of Chiefs in Cameroon, is bold, courageous, and speaks the truth and speaks for the people. He said that all it takes is for all the candidates to come together and put one person forward to stand and fight for Paul Biya, fight against Paul Biya. That alone, that unity alone against all those aspirants to become president in Cameroon will be able to send Biya to retreat in his village. But we all know that the problem in Cameroon is not just Biya, it's the Cameroonians themselves. Do you think Bello Buba is going to allow Issa Chiruma, or you say Maurice Kamto is going to allow somebody else to stand and represent the opposition in Cameroon, or Muna is going to allow somebody else? We are full of greed, unsatisfiable greed as Cameroonian, and that is standing on the way. Today, you find that they are going to do exactly what Paul Biya wants. All Maurice Kamto supporters will now decide to destroy their voters' card. They will not participate in the election because they don't have their own person, their own preferred person. They are unable to support somebody else, to entertain the idea that somebody else can do it. It must be a particular person. That is a primitive way of thinking, where you have now built personality code and the public interest have been reduced to a person. Sometimes a person can carry that hope, but sometimes that person needs to transfer that hope to somebody else who can be able to represent them. And everybody else needs to fall behind that person for us to be successful or for any hope for Cameroon to be realized. Is that possible? Our thesis in PRAP is that no, it is still not possible because our population lacks that capacity. We have not built that education to educate the people themselves on the street to know the law, let alone knowing their rights and how they can transform those rights into tangible rights in their country and tangible choices. We have to educate people. We have to speak the truth. We have to show people that they can be something different. There is something that they can do. We cannot accept what it is for what it should be. We should speak for what things should be. And that is our job in PRAP. This is a very, very sad day for all those who love Cameroon, those who love peace in Cameroon, to understand. For us Anglophones, we can now say to Francophones that, okay, now you see what we went through. Now you have seen what they have done to your own hope. If you thought that we were all we were misguided, we're not justifying our anger. Now you can feel the desperation that we felt. It's now now equality in the regime. It is time for the population in Cameroon and all various factions in Cameroon to know that this regime does not really represent the vast people on the street. That is the reality. It is a French Afrique regime that is there, and we should approach it in that manner because we don't have choice. That is the reality. Unfortunately, that is the reality we have to live with, and we have to look for pragmatic way of ensuring that our people get the maximum out of this short life that God has given us in this country. It's a very, very sad day in Cameroon, but this is something that we know, and this is our thesis that we have presented to you. It's very, very bad. So, as we leave this issue, we'll continue to monitor it and bring you what is going on in Cameroon, showing you what we expect going forward. We'll do that in another segment. But now we want to take you back to Anglophone area, back to our Southern Cameroon issues. After all these things are going on in Yaoundé, when people are fighting and looking at what is happening in Yaoundé, guess what is happening in Bamenda? The ugly face of what majority of our Anglophones have created. Those who supported lockdowns, those who undermine our public interest, those who have said that the soldiers Amber Boys can go and do whatever they want and unalive people using live bullet against our civilians just to impose ghost towns and lockdown without any restraint, which is something we have been calling. This is the result. Yesterday in Bamenda, one of our diaspora, a very, very important guy, a very, very nice guy from the United States, one of our elites, I can say one of our elites, Mr. Beckley Martin, who is from the United States of America, went to Bamenda. And this is him here. I want to show you what is happening. That is, he was in the 1974 batch of Sacred Heart, coming from America, going to our beautiful Bamenda, that's it. Joka. Man, we don't come from diaspora. Yeah. Here it go talk. Maui not like Cameroon. Me go fit speak to country. Yeah. Yeah, might play that part. The Maui talks say pay no fine. Me go be own country. So as you see, a diaspora member, a very important member in the community of Anglophones in America, in the United States of America, Mr. Beckley Martin, who was a Sacred Heart graduate, one of the best schools in Anglophone region. Mr. Bentley Martin left his family in the United States, traveled to Bamenda to go and enjoy life and celebrate life with his friends, buy them drinks and have fun. Guess what? Yesterday he was shot by Amber Boys. Just like that, he was unalive. Just like that, he's gone. That is our Anglophone zone. For some people still entertain the idea of the Amber Boys. This is a result. Criminal gangs have taken over. Why? Because of failure of leadership. The activist Mark Barata, who was saying that it was good for kidnapping. Tapang Ibo, who was saying that those who are coming from diaspora should be targeted. Bohoha. Those who were saying that lockdown and ghost town does not matter, they should impose it no matter how they want. That anybody who goes out and violates these laws should be unalive. You have created this scenario where the life of our people are no more valued by even the boys that were supposed to be protecting them. The fabric of our society is no longer there. It has been destroyed and shattered. The only hope our people have is what we have articulated in the peace plan paper, to look for a negotiated settlement and integrate the Amazonian fighters into municipal police, because they are the only ones who can solve this problem in this insecurity. They must be given formal training, empowered by elected officials in the regions as municipal authorities with real power to arrest and go after criminal gangs who are now terrorizing our streets. That is the only solution that we have for you. For the meantime, those who are in denial of this reality, who want to blame and say it's Atanganji poor boys or whatever you want to choose to call, this is the reality. Go and ask the family of Mr. Abetley Martin. Ask his friends. If they were disagreeing with me, go and ask them now. It is what it is. Our job is to stand up and tell you that the boys that are on the ground in Ambazonia calling themselves Amber Boys, until our population will realize that they are a cancer to our society, they are the main problem we have. Any Amber Boy who is genuine should leave those camps, go back to your civilian life. Contact me if you don't know how to do that, and we will help you. For now, the population must realize that they must take actions to stop the existence of any of such camps. Otherwise, cases like this will be multiplying on a day-to-day basis. Have a blessed day.